Good day to one and all. This is Dr. Sivaraman of iknowindices.com. I'm going to present the Asian Session Live Market Analysis webinar, which I was supposed to give on 21st, that is yesterday, Monday. Due to preoccupied condition, I was not in a position to present it yesterday. But today, 22nd of September, between 5 and 5:30 GMT, I'll present the Asian Session Live Market Analysis webinar, explaining the expected market moves for the 5 days of the week, and also do the market reading using the initial lows and the highs, and explain briefly about the trading strategy we should use in order to consistently earn money from that of the market. Now, coming to that of the forecast. Last week, on Friday, Euro and GBP were gaining their levels. And everybody thought that they could make further rise during the US session. And they made the European session a good rise and a quick rise and stopped cutting the new high from that of the mid-session. And then holding near that of the high, they have been pausing on that time and building the sell positions. But that gave enormous bullish feel among that of the traders. And during that of the US session also, they started holding it and pretended as if they are going to rise further upward. And that has given the feel to many of the people that the forecast, what was given, that there will be a swing and drop in Euro and GBP may not happen. They contacted me through chat and other messages. And I was telling them that I don't think that the forecast will go wrong. And exactly they used the Moody downgrade of France as the news or the attribute. And they started making a big drop in the case of Euro, followed by a drop in the case of GBP, and gained the levels in the case of USD and USD CHF. So ultimately, they made the drop in Euro and GBP as envisaged by that of the forecast. So I was telling you that such quick extended upward moves are great sell opportunities in the case of Euro and GBP. And they will continue the same slide during this week and the next week as well. So sell and buy trades are ideal. When to sell? Whenever they quickly gain the level or near that of the high, and not cut the high for more than 30 minutes, we can take a sell position. Now coming to that of the forecast for this week. Yesterday's forecast already it is over. They just made the slide and firm up. And today they made the dip during start of the Japanese session, and they are expected to firm up. And later on, they are expected to slide Euro and GBP during that of the European and the US session. And tomorrow, they could make a drop during that of the Japanese session, and then firm up and then slide during that of the European and the US session respectively. Then on Thursday, 24th, they could make the visible slide in Euro and GBP during that of the Japanese and the European session, and making a false upward move to pretend as if the market is going to rise. Then on Friday, they are expected to make the slide and make a big drop during that of the European session, and then make swing and firm up move towards close when many of the traders take sell position after the drop, thinking that they are doing a breakout trade and Euro is not near any support. That's what they could think and sell. But the players will accumulate such sells at the bottom level because they have to buy against their sells, what they are building now. And after buying it, they will quickly gain the levels so that they buy low, and when the short sellers come for short covering, they give it to them. So happily, they make money either way, that way. So this is what they are expected to make in this week. So we can anticipate or expect as per that of the forecast for the downward move in the case of Euro and GBP. Any gaining move will be sell opportunity. Then next week will be the end of September and the early part of October. So obviously, whenever you come across such week, you come across the trend reversal, monthly trend reversal. Then monthly trend reversal again, you might come across a volatile and the slide moves. And from second week of October, you will come across visible gains happening in the market. So this is the forecast part of it. Now coming to that of the levels in which the currencies are expected to swing, Euro could make for the downward move. Yesterday they went up to 1.1330 and then started making the slide. And today they made a further slide to 1.1183. So they are likely to come down to 1.09 area. And in the case of GBP, we came up to 55.04. They are holding around that of 55 area in order to hold GBP and drop Euro. As a result, Euro GBP cross will come down. And later on, they will drop GBP as well. And in the case of Yen, they briefly came down to 119 area, started gaining the levels, and you find that they come up to 120.61 now, and they are likely to go up further during this particular week. And in the case of CHF, yesterday they came down to 96.43 and went up to 97.15, and they are going up further upward. And they are likely to go up to that of 98, 99 area. Then in the case of Canadian dollar, they came down to 31.75 area and then started gaining the levels. And then they are holding around in that level and they are expected to gain further upward move in the case of USD CAD. In Australian dollar, they were holding around that of 72 area, and from there they slowly started making the dip, and they will slowly continue the slide, and later on you will come across that sudden drops will happen below that of 0.70, and then they came down. They could come down to 0.69 and touch 0.68 area, and then reverse the market. So this time around, during the month end, they could make extended downward stop it. So the extended downward stop is expected by next week. At that time, you can do the buy positions, and that will give very big profit if you hold it through October. So if you want to do the bottom fishing, wait for such extended stop and move. And you know the definition. It is a quick move on the downside, and within the same session, they will try to reverse the market and go above the top from where they started and continue to move upward. And that move will indicate that they want to make upward shift in trading zone. So in a sluggish way, they are dropping the market, inducing the traders to take long positions. And then they will make one quick downward move. So those who have taken the long positions will liquidate it, developing a very bearish feel among about Euro and GBP, liquidate as if the entire European economy is doomed. And later on, in a matter of 2 hours, they will simply reverse it, giving some other attribute, and will say that, no, it is not that, yes, European economy is that bad, and when compared to US economy, European economy is relatively progressive. That's what they will say. Give a relative comparison and start gaining the levels in the case of Euro and GBP. So ultimately, understand that the players are here to trap the traders, create the market sentiment, and act against that of the traders. And such drops, you should wait for such drops to happen. Always keep in mind quick moves or false moves in the market. Coming to the market reading, So we note down the initial lows and the highs around 3:30 GMT, and later on find out what exactly is happening in the market. So now you find that it is around 5:10 GMT. They are not breached the low or the high in the case of Euro. Similarly, in the case of GBP also, they are not breached the low or the high. And USDN also, they are not breached the low or the high, indicating that here also CHF, they are not breached the low or the high. And also in the case of USD CAD and Australian dollar. So that shows that they are making subdued moves in the market, and they are likely to make further move later on during the day. A small firm up could be seen by end of Japanese session, and then they are expected to make the slide during European and US sessions. So watch for such moves and try to take the positions. And you can take sell near that of the high, and keep in mind that you have to watch the net change. Find out what currencies they are handling. And also see that their spread between the high and the low is more than 40 pips in order to commit a position. The spread is not there, then don't commit any position, because they will simply consolidate and it will test your patience. So once they increase the spread when they are near the high, take a sell position, and you should be in a position to book profit during the trade. So we take sell position near the high and buy position near the low whenever they come closer to high and closer to low, and not breach the low or the high for more than 30 minutes, especially during session start time. Then we try to take a buy near that of the low or sell near that of the high, and do as a swing trade, and then try to close the position by end of the session. So swing trades, you can do it within the session, and during the trading time, you can in fact do position trade, take sell positions whenever they made a very quick rise, and wait for the market to make a drop, wait for big drops to happen, and then cover the position with huge profit. That's what the players do. So we should also be in a position to do that by keeping stop at entry in the sell positions and wait for the big drop to happen and book the profit, so that you don't incur any loss. And in the event if they go against you, and if they move in your favor, you will be able to maximize the profit. You can use the trailing stop of 25 to 35 pips and maximize the profit also. So whenever the position is closed to the next gaining quick gaining level, you can take sell position again during the early part of the session. Again, they are expected to make the slide. That way you can do the position trade. Now, the market timings are very important, and if you watch carefully, these timings given here, here all the timings followed by that of the players. So make a note of it. The day's time, 24 hours, is divided into 3 sessions, and each session is further divided into early, mid, and the late sessions. And in between the sessions, you come across some time frame, 30 minutes between the Japanese and the European, 30 minutes between the European and the US, and nearly 4 hours between the US and the next day Japanese session. And these times are referred as the cap times, and during which the big orders of the banks do not follow, and then the players try to make a false move out of the stock during that time. So watch for such moves and understand the quick moves or false moves in the market, and then try to take positions when they quickly gain the level, stop cutting the new high. For more than 30 minutes, take a sell, you'll be able to quickly book profit by end of the session. So that way, you can do the session-wise swing trade or a position trade if you are comfortable after keeping stop at entry and having enormous patience to maximize the profit. So if you got any questions, you can ask me. I will answer those questions, either in the chat window or in the question answer window. Is the session recorded? Yes, it is being recorded. Any other question? Yeah, I will display this slide again. Okay, focus slide. Can you please display the slide again? Yeah, just displayed it. In Vikrant, you see euro recovering today, where nominal recovery might be there towards close of the Japanese session. That will be short-lived. And probably they may make a brief upward stop during start of the European session above that of the initial high for about 5-10 pips and then start making the slide. Any other question? Mario, the volatility this week is quite high, judging from the yesterday's movement. Yeah, obviously, as we proceed in the weeks, they will intensify the volatility and they will start making the quick moves. And they were expected to make the mid-month trend reversal. And it clearly indicated that they are not getting the required volume in order to straight away make the reversal from mid-month. So they want the volume to come. How? By making whips or moves in the market. So when they make whips or moves in the market, automatically they will have adequate buy positions. So for that, they increase the volatility in the market. But at the same time, that is detrimental. When they increase the volatility in a big way, what happens? The traders become afraid and they don't commit positions. So the volatility is optimal, then enormous traders will come in and commit positions. And if the volatility is extreme, then they will avoid taking position after closing the position with a loss. So the players need to find an optimal volatility and try to attract the traders to commit positions. So it is a task for the players and they do it effectively. Then Vikrant. What is your reading on GBP? GBP is also expected to make the slide. So keep in mind, in tandem with the euro, GBP will also be making the slide in the market. And they will only alternate in order to handle Euro GBP cross. Then Tepo, why players use this specific time, 2:33:30 GMT, low on the high? So we need to probably ask them why they are using it that way. I have no answer for that. So they need to have some method. They need not find out whether it is easy for you to note down or not, but they want the timings to be easier for them to follow. Then Aditya, can you please display the slide expectations range? Yeah, I will display the slide also. So these are all the expected ranges in this week. So more slide could be seen in the case of Euro and GBP and also Australian dollar. And more gaining moves could be seen in the case of USD and USD CHF and USD CAD. And Lamshin, please comment on USD Singapore dollar. See, as far as the regional currencies are concerned, like Indian rupee, Singapore dollar, etc., they are expected to be at the weaker levels for the season till first week of October. And afterwards, they are expected to strengthen till year end. They will move ahead of the majors. Any other questions? If you got any question, you can ask me. I can answer to those questions. So still they are not breached the initial lows and the highs. I'll show the forecast slide also. Then Mario, can you share your views on can you share your views on Nifty? See, the stock market is also expected to undergo the monthly trend reversal on the downside in Indian market and also in the global markets. Then, and for the crosses, as far as crosses are concerned, like AUD, CAD, etc., whenever they make the contrarian move, we need to handle it carefully. So you watch out for such contrarian moves. Now you come across that USD CAD and Australian dollar are showing negative net change. It's a contrarian move. So when they make such contrarian move, you will come across the big moves happen in the case of the crosses. So wait for such contrarian moves to happen in the crosses and then commit positions. That will be better to trade in the case of crosses. When they are handling the majors in a big way, don't enter into the crosses. Then they may not make any big moves. Then or the commodities also expected to slide. Yes, gold and oil are expected to nominally slide during this week and the next week in Maria. We look at that AUD and CAD as comparison. Do we look at AUD and CAD as comparisons? I'm not able to get your questions. That is, do you correlate these two currencies? That's what I think you are asking. Actually, none of the currencies are correlated. And you find they bring in the variations with regard to the net changes. Sometime yesterday you would have noticed that Euro was making a big drop, whereas GBP was not making a big drop. What sort of correlations you can give at that time? And similarly, you'll come across certain other days, GBP might be making big drop and Euro might be making a nominal drop. And so we need to understand how exactly they are handling it in order to handle that of the crosses. So that you need to follow and trade. So please understand that the currencies are not comparable. So if you think that currencies are comparable, then you might be disappointed. You have to always look into the net changes and find out what currencies they are handling at a given time. So that is very important. Then Aditya. So is the reversal in terms of USD weakening move will start month end. So yeah, they will bring in that of the month end trend reversal, and then subsequently they will try to gain the levels in the case of Euro and GBP. Till such time you will come across that downward move. So watch carefully and trade, and always the timing is very important. Many people think that the levels are important, and so when they come to the supports, immediately they feel like buying. But they fail to understand the timing of the market is at most important. So when they come to the monthly trend reversal time, then none of the supports will be held, or none of the supports would act as a strong support, irresistible support. And the players can easily breach and hit the stops at that time and reverse the market. So keep in mind that during the month end and the month beginning time, don't depend upon the supports and the resistance. The players are known to breach them and try to trap the traders. Okay, any other questions? If you have got any question, you can ask me. Otherwise, I'll wind up the webinar. So this is the focus sheet. And especially when they are gaining the levels during this particular time frame, you need to carefully watch whether they are making a quick upward gain or a slow upward gain. If it is a slow upward gain, then it could be an intentional move for 2 sessions. And if it is a quick upward move, it might be for a session, and then they will reverse it. On Friday, the same thing happened. Many of the traders thought that Euro and GBP are already reversed. And this is what they also communicated to me, and I told them that Unless and otherwise they make an extended downward stop and they will not make any big upward move. That's what happened finally. So try to develop the skill set to read the market, and then you will find trading becomes a child's play. Otherwise, unnecessarily, you will become uncertain and you will develop the market fear. If you want to really get rid of the market fear, then always view the quick moves as a trap move and understand that they wanted to trap some short sellers. And after trapping it, they are going to trap the long holders. So don't buy after the rise, don't sell after the drop. Okay. Euro intentional move on Friday and Monday happened as you are explained. Okay, thank you. So ultimately, no, if my forecast come true, I'm happy about it. But if you are benefited, I am much more happy. That is what, no, I'm taking all the efforts and also requesting FX3 to take all the efforts to record and display to that of the small traders, mainly to give the benefit to that of the small traders. So those who cannot afford to subscribe for any forecast and things like that. And but at the same time, you have to get rid of the market fear. Whatever be the forecast, if you have got the market fear, you hesitate taking the positions. So that is why this blunt explanation is being given so that you will be able to really take the right directional position and make money from the other market without the market fear. Then what is there a formula we can use to calculate the weekly range? I have given you the long time back. The weekly range is about 350 pips. They are nothing but the limitations imposed on that of the banks. So 350 pips in the case of Euro, 600 pips in the case of GBP, 450 pips in the case of USD and USD CH1 USD CAD. Australian dollar has got a weekly range of 300 pips. So no formula is there. Then if I want to trade Canadian dollar yen, how could I estimate the weekly range? Oh, you have to find out what could be the weekly spread in the case of Canadian dollar, what could be the weekly spread in the case of yen. Take the extreme levels. How the extreme levels? USD CAD in this pair, JPY is a denominator. And then in Canadian dollar, USD CAD Canadian dollar is a denominator. So when you are finding the ratio between the two denominator currencies, Canadian dollar versus yen, you find that Canadian dollar versus yen here. Okay, CAD yen. See, when you look at the CAD yen, when both USD CAD as well as USD yen are in negative net change, like 0.2 and also Canadian dollar showing 11 pips, then you find Canadian dollar is slightly stronger when compared to that of yen. As a result, you find that Canadian dollar yen is showing a nominal positive net change. This is what you need to identify. So when you are taking into consideration the currencies and the crosses, you have to look into their respective major currencies and see their moves and then understand how they intend to make the moves in the majors, and followed by that you can take positions in the case of the crosses. Also, you understand that when they are making only contrarian move, such moves can happen. So here you come across euro and yen are showing contrarian move. But USD yen and USD CAD are not showing contrarian move. That means they are not handling USD CAD at the given time. Sorry, the CAD yen at the given time. So in such a situation, don't commit position. So when they are making contrarian move, then, for example, USD CAD and Australian dollar, they are showing contrarian move. If you commit position there, you will be able to see nice profit. But when they are not making contrarian move, if you take position, they will make the moves in the case of USDN and USD CAD in tandem. As a result, you may come across about 5-10 pips win in the Canadian dollar yen cross. So that is how we have to identify. The weekly range, go to the extreme levels and then calculate it. What is the permissible limit in the case of those two currencies and calculate. So no more questions. So I'll try to wind up the webinar. So this is the expected market moves for this week, and also the expected market range is given in this slide. You can take a screenshot, or you can just uh, listen to that of the recorded webinar later on, and come back on Thursday, 24th of September, and try to review the forecast, what I have given it today, and find out how exactly the market is making the moves in tandem with that of the forecast. So I take this opportunity to thank FX Street for the facilities provided, and also you people for your kind listening and understanding of the forecast. Thank you one and all. Wish you all happy trading. See you on Thursday.